Hey guys, welcome back to Freestyle Unlimited. I've got a really exciting video for you guys today. We are going to be getting back into the 550 build. I've got all the parts we need, so let's go ahead and go over all of the stuff that we ordered, everything that came in, and kind of what we're going to cover in today's video. So let's get to it. So as you guys know, we had a few issues, and that's where we left the last video. We were redoing our exhaust, so we've got the new Kaufman pipe here. We've got it hooked up to the stock style bread box manifold. This would be for the later model 550s. We've got our old stator that was damaged due to the flywheel puller. I used a bolt that was too long and unfortunately dug into one of the coils on here. So we've got a replacement from a buddy of mine, Yvonne. He got me set up with a good coil. It ohms out, it tests good. We've also got our new 44 millimeter BN carb because we are going away from the crusty and rusty 38 millimeter. We had to also get a new BN 44 manifold as well, so that the diameters lined up and everything worked out, because as you can see, these are two very different size carburetors. The measurement, the 44 millimeters, is going to be the bore diameter for this carburetor. This one's a 38. So in theory, we're going to toss this, and this one will allow us to put a little bit more fuel into the cylinder, which means we might have the capability for a little more power, especially with the pipe we will be running. So that is all of the issues that we had previously. So we are going to start with swapping this stator out. We will get our new crank bearings pressed onto the crank, and we will get our bottom end buttoned up, sealed up, and ready to go for the next video. So that is what we're going to go over today. We're going to do the bottom end assembly on the 550 build. So let's get to it. All right, so getting right into it, we're going to start off by swapping our stator over, which means we will be removing this one completely from the ski. So we are going to be looking at the pin out for our plug, because we will be completely pulling all the wiring out to be able to run this through our stator hole in the lower case. So we're going to be looking at, from the back of the plug, we've got kind of a U shape for our pins. These bottom two are going to be our green power wires, which are going to be essentially to our main charging coil. So those will both be power. Our top right will be red, the middle will be black, top left will be gray. So I will take a picture of this and I will put it up here if you guys want to pause it. If you are doing this, that way you can look at it and kind of follow back just to make sure you get it correct. All right, so moving back on here, we will be depinning this. It'll require some small pliers. We'll kind of pinch these, feed them back through here. And I've already got all of the other stuff from the other stator. So we'll just physically have to get the wiring through here, kind of get our caps off here. We'll pull everything off this end and do the reverse to get it installed. So let's get to that. So on here, you can kind of see the bottom of this is flared out a little bit, which seats into the plastic. So all I'm doing is I'm going in here and I'm pinching that one side that needs to go in and then pulling it through. So we'll put that off to the side for now. This will live inside of our e-box. This is what connects to all of our e-box components. So let's unscrew this. Let's get our wires pushed through here. There we go. All right, feed that through there and get our plastic cover off. We'll set these ones over here because these are the ones we won't be reusing. Pulling our sheathing off, our other cover, and then this one's, there we go. Pull a little rubber piece off the end. Again, there's that. We got our stator pulled off, so we've just got a little hole here. We're gonna run the old stator. Should probably lubricate these ones as well, but we're gonna run all of this stuff right back through that hole, same way we just came out. Okay, so we are gonna take our new stator, run all of our wires through here, We'll set something like that right around our crank right there. All right, so now that we've got that run through, I'm going to get our plastic, our first insulator on here. We're going to go in this way. This is going to seat like this so that it comes out our cap like that and insulates our wires. So we're going to go with the stubby end first. Take all 5 of our wires. Doesn't really particularly matter what order you go in. Just kind of try and keep them the same so that you don't get them all twisted up. So we'll go ahead and run that all the way down our wires until we get down. All right, so our next step here, we're going to put our cap on over all our wires, and we are going to be running our new seal for the e-box on. You're going to be doing this the same way, except you're going to be feeding from the longer side forward, and then this shorter side will be sealing into our e-box adapter or pass through. So we're going to have our little cap on here, and we're going to feed these through here kind of in that same order, just like that. Run those up and through, just like that. So now we've got all 5 of our wires through. I'm going to give them a little wipe down because I did put some wax on them to get them to slide in and out of there easily. I'm going to clean up our terminals a little bit. And now will come the time we will be repinning. But just for a safety thing, I'm going to show you guys. You can kind of see here, these little things have this little tab on the side here. I'm going to pop these tabs out just slightly so they get a good grab in our e-box plug when we push them through, so that we don't end up with any loose connections or weird intermittent connections. So give me just a second. So, as you can see now, we've got all our tabs bent out just enough for, let me see if you guys can see here. We've got these tabs bent out just enough so that they'll grab into our plug. So we'll reference back to our plug diagram here, and I know that we are going to be going, all right, so we'll be referencing the picture. I'll put it up here again. We'll be going red, black, gray, and then our greens in the bottom. So I'm going to go greens first into the bottom 2, push them in until they click, just like that. Usually I like to just make sure that they are in and seated and aren't coming out. And then we're going to go red, black, and gray across the top here. So red, black, and gray. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Kind of feed them through. Click. Get our black one in there. Come on. Get you all the way in there. Click. And our gray in there. Click. So now we've got all of our pins in here. We're all ready to go. That red one needs to be kind of pulled over a little bit. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. New stator is on. I've got it temporarily mounted up with one screw just because I will be taking that screw out, and we will move on to our crankshaft with our bearings. So we are just going to be replacing the inner and outer crank bearings. So I've got a bearing tool that I'm going to use. I'm going to use my shop press over here. So you guys can see I'm going to be using my shop press to press our bearings off. But I just had to pick it up today because I realized I didn't have this kit after I closed my shop. All right, so we're going to be working in the vise here today. I am going to just probably clamp down here on our crank just to hold it in place, nothing crazy. And we're going to be getting this one off with our bearing color. Here. Well, let's see how close we can get. Let's just get to the edge there. Let's get to the edge here. I think we can do it. I think we can do it. Get a couple threads on here. Get that one tight. Yeah, I think we'll be able to make this happen. Couple threads there, couple threads there. Let's just kind of tighten down, kind of get a good bite under the bearing here. Perfect. All right, so we're going to set this up here. I'm going to raise my setup here. Alright, so we are going to set up our blocks, which will hold our crank while we press it. I'm going to run my crank up through here. Like this. Just like that. We're going to put that there. And hopefully, get our other block here. Of course. Can we go this way? Alright. See if we can't. I need to get a block here because we need to have a slightly thinner thing here because this is not going to work. Either that or we'll just go here and there and see where that gets us. Alright, so we are set up here. We're going to tighten our press down, and let's see where we get with this. Okay. Alrighty. These aren't super tight tolerance, so they're going to come out pretty darn easy. This sleeve should also probably come off with the bearing. There we go. Alrighty. There is one, so let's go ahead and, is that our one washer? Yeah, we got a shim on this side, so okay, cool. So let's go ahead and flip around, and we will do same thing on this side. So I'll get it set up on the vise, and I'll see you back over here. All right, so we've got our second bearing set up in the kind of bearing separator, and run back up through here. We're just going to up here. Probably even do this by hand because this shouldn't be super tight. Alright. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. Alrighty. We've got one. There we go. We got got 2 shims on the front, so we'll make sure those go back on the same way. We got our 2 bearings off, and get our new bearings pressed on here. So let's take a look at our new bearings. So these are going to be our new roller bearings from SBT. We do have our retaining O-ring. This O-ring pretty much just keeps the bearing from sliding around and rotating while it's down on the crank there inside of the crankcase. So we're going to make sure that these O-rings stay on the outside. But comparatively, I mean, they're going to be the exact same bearing. You know, obviously one's going to be in worse condition. This one's been on there for probably 30 years. All right, well, thought we were going to get a lot further today, but I'm now just looking at it and comparing the size of the bearing to what we're working with here. You can see the new bearings are substantially smaller, meaning that these will not work. So I will have to contact Watercraft Superstore or let them know what's going on and get these returned, because both of these are going to be our old bearings. These are the same size, and both of these are the new bearings, and they are a different size. So that's really unfortunate, but I will be reaching out to them tomorrow, I guess, to try and get some expedited here, and we'll get this thing back together in the next video. But we'll just continue on kind of with what we've got here. Very unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. But we got the stator done, so that was kind of a big thing. And we will be looking at kind of what our next move is in terms of our bearings here tomorrow then. And hopefully we can come up with a solution quickly. And I'm wondering if maybe these bearings are the inner ones, because they are supposed to be the 550 crank bearings. But I guess we'll see. So we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.